There we are. We're live now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lemonade Legend podcast, where we share amazing stories, lemon to lemonade stories. And today I am honored and very excited to have Tracy St. Croi. She is one of my favorite guests. I've had her here before, so I'm really excited to have her back. So welcome, Tracy. So excited to have you here.
Yes, thank you for having me back in the Lemonade Legend community. Thank you, Michelle. Excited to see everybody out there.
Well, yeah, this is I have all these questions I want to ask you because we've talked about so many things, and yet there's still so much more to ask. And you have a unique life.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You do. So first, I want you to introduce yourself and a little bit of what you do.
Well, as Michelle said, my name is Tracy St. Croi, and like it says on the sign in the background, I am an afterlife connection specialist and intuitive. So what that means is that I'm able to connect with people's deceased loved ones to help to achieve peace and closure. I also do intuitive work. So it's going to be the top two, right? The finances or the romances, the honey, the money. You know, it's always going to be one or both of them. And so I'm able to help sort out the stories. I'm able to see more of a 360 view of the entire situation to be able to help you to make the highest and best choices for yourself. I always like to say you can make whatever choice you want, but here are kind of your options that I really see are for you.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I do.
So you're actually helping people to make the lemonade.
I am actually helping people taking their lemons and making lemonade.
Well,
I give them the ingredients, I give them the how-to, and they have to proceed forward.
Wow. I foresee a partnership somehow.
I would love it.
Well, I would too. Last time I had you on here, we were very much focused on what you offer in services to the business community, which we want to talk a little bit more about. But I really want to dig in deep and that whole intuitive thing because it is so intriguing. So we'll wrap around into the business side of it, but I want to just go ahead and jump in just a little bit on that side of you.
Okay.
One of the things I've got to ask is, how did you discover this about you?
Well, as a child, I definitely was gifted. So I always had a knowing as a child. I always had, prophetic dreams and knowingness of what was going to happen and what had happened there. That was always very present. As a child, I always knew about deaths in the family. So I really didn't have to be informed as a child. But, different families view that in different ways. And my family wasn't really they weren't going to embrace those gifts. And so they kind of got dormant as I got a bit older. And then when I was in my early 30s, I had what I like to come to Jesus moment where you needed to change everything and anything, or you're not going to make it too much further. And when I made a choice to say, okay, I have to rebuild and change everything about my life, at that moment, that's when my gifts just went poof. They just shot up like Old Faithful.
Wow. So it's kind of like allowing it, like giving it permission.
Yeah.
Instead of suppressing anything.
Yeah, because I did, it wasn't that I suppressed my gifts growing up. I didn't know what they were because I didn't have anybody around me that was helping to nurture or cultivate it. So I was going off the assumptions of what I was hearing as a child of, we don't do that in this house. That's not, that's not right. And so spirit has a way, and they wanted me to do this work, and they found a way.
So was it more spirit telling you, or did you have someone or individuals, actually moving you along?
Well, I like to say it was, I came to a destiny stop, is what I like to refer to it as in my life, where it's, if you go this way, you know what you're going to get, and you're not going to get too far, and it's going to be pretty miserable. Or you can go this way onto the path of the unknown and hold my hand, and I'll walk with you. And you'll have a life better than what you could have ever have imagined. And I said, okay, I'll take up, door number B, please. And at that moment, it was just like, I started receiving information the same kind of way that I did as a child, but it was way more frequently and much more intensity than I had. And so it was just about, after that, learning how to sort the information, got a good mentor, and learned about working with spirit, whatever that's called to you. Some people say spirit, some people say God, some people say divine, some people say Allah, some people, however you define that.
So you actually went to school for this, the Arthur Findlay College of Psychic Sciences. And I've heard you call it the real Hogwarts.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's the real deal, Michelle. I'm not joking.
Oh, you've got to tell me about it.
Okay, so Arthur Findlay College of Psychic Sciences is just north of London, and it is a world-renowned school for spiritualists. And they have classes on everything from mediumship to trance mediumship to Reiki to psychic development, psychic detection. And it is a property that's set on about, I don't want to say how much, because I don't want somebody to come back and go, that was the wrong amount of acres. But it's a very lush estate, and it is a huge castle. It's 3 stories tall. It was built back in the late 1800s, and it is quintessentially stocked in that Victorian age. So when you pull up, you see the large steeples everywhere, the chimneys, and it's all brick and stone around there. And when you walk into the doors, everything is opulent and mid-Victorian age, from the wallpaper to the desks, to the chairs, to the paintings. And it's very elaborate system in there. So you literally get a map the first day that you're there, because they're like, no, carry this map, you will get lost and turned around. Because it literally is like Hogwarts, where you think the staircase just moved on you.
That sounds pretty amazing. I've never had that descriptive of the place, so.
It is, it's very like interesting, windy, twisty hallways, and we go to class there, and we eat there, and we have jam sessions at night out on the property, and you just get to know so many people from all over the world, and you get to develop your gifts.
That's really cool.
I know.
Do you keep in touch with some of your fellow?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've made a lot of good friends just from going over there, whether they live in the UK or Australia, or they're here in the United States. It's just a phenomenal network of people that you can tap into. And I love going there. Every time I can get there, I get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know that London is a favorite spot of yours.
Yes, London is my heart and soul. And, you do not need to twist my arm to get me on a plane to go to London. I can tell you that much. I'm there at least, once a year. So.
All right. Well, I might have to go with you so you can give me the tour.
Yeah, I could by now, at this point, give tours.
That sounds great. So here's something that I'm kind of intrigued about. Do you feel In your opinion, do you think that we all are capable, that we have that ability to be intuitive? It's just that some people are more maybe aware of it or familiar or open to it?
I do. I believe that everybody has the gift of intuition. I believe that God, gave us that when we were born, kind of as our internal compass or guidance system. Um, and I believe that everybody, if they have a willingness, can, start to develop their intuition. Now, here's the caveat with that. Do I believe everybody could be absolutely superior at it and fantastic? Not so much. Because it's just like anything else in this world. Like, I can do basic math, but don't put something intricate and complicated in front of me because that's not my gig. Right? So I do believe that everybody at some kind of basic level can develop their intuition.
So with that a bit behind your reason for publishing your book, The 7 Tips and Tricks to Enhance Your Intuition, was to help people develop whatever amount of gift they might have?
It was part of the reason. Another big push for that was a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I would interact with at events would say, they'd always pull you aside, right in the corner. I'm psychic too. I don't know what to do with it. What do I do? And I would give them as, many pointers as I possibly could, depending on where they were coming from. Right. And it just kind of culminated that, like, hey, why don't I just put something together? I already have this information and put it out there for anybody who wants to begin to develop it and make it very simple and playful and fun. Because I said, if I'm going to do a book, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be practical exercises that you can do every day, no matter where you're at.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess one of the reasons I asked that, I'm not going to go, I'm psychic too. But sometimes I do have those moments, like I remember once my husband and I were on a plane it was an international flight. We were coming back and all of a sudden we were almost landed. All of a sudden I went, oh my God, his cell phone. I think his cell phone ended up in a front pocket and somebody stole it. Sure enough, grabbed that bag, opened up that front pocket. There was nothing there. In fact, I think that the zipper was half open. I don't know. You can say, it might have just been that I had that sudden realization that it was really stupid to put his cell phone in the front pocket, or was it a psychic moment? I don't know. But sometimes I just hit something like that where I just go, ooh, that was kind of creepy.
And that's how your intuition works. It goes, I like to say, your feelers go off.
Yeah.
I got a disturbance in the force here, folks. And, you just kind of go with it. Yeah, maybe it could have been something subconsciously kicking in, but more than likely, if you had that strong of a feeling about it, it was more your intuition that was trying to talk to you about it versus logic.
There's definitely something to gut feeling.
And that's how a lot of business owners work off of. When they call me for strategy advice, I talk to them about how to trust their gut and trusting their strategy more. And then, kind of being able to give them that larger 360 view of things, but also showing them, like, do you see how your gut feeling was right in this?
Yeah. So, I'm going to guess that maybe you don't go with your gut feeling 100% of the time. I mean, what tips do you have for gut feeling?
So this is what I say. And I can get a gut feeling about something and I can go, okay, I'm really curious about this, right? And so I'll ask for signs. I'll say, if I am on the right path with this assumption or whatever it is I want, show me some signs and make them so vivid and so obvious that they literally smack me in my face and start to wiggle. So sometimes it could be like the other day I asked for it and I was driving down to San Antonio and I see numbers. I see sequences of numbers. So I kept seeing 888, 888, 888 everywhere. And eights to me are all about like a prosperity, also about getting more resources moving forward because I kept asking about some resources coming in. And boom, like it was like every other car, like I couldn't pass anything without freaking 888 all over it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I also ask them too. You can also ask them, like, am I wrong? Is there something that I'm not willing to look at or I'm in denial about? Show me.
What did you once mentioned? Maybe it was in your article that you put in my magazine,
Maybe.
Lemonade Legend magazine.
Yeah.
So I might have read it there, or it was when we were talking. I'm not sure, but I loved it helped me to understand how you can help CEOs and business people, because you talked about a CEO who had gone to you and said, okay, I've got this candidate and I've got this candidate. And on paper, this one looked perfect. This one, maybe not so much, but I kind of feel maybe a pull with this other guy, you know? So I love the idea that what's going to happen is not always black and white and on paper, and how you were able to help that CEO return to their intuition and into their gut.
Yeah.
Make a decision on who they were going to hire.
Exactly. And it's big decisions when you're talking to CEOs that run, you know, massive corporations. Hiring and firing are some of the top two things that CEOs call me about. Yeah. And fraud as well. Yeah. But you know, I really try to, when I talk to them, if they're willing, I try to also train them on their intuition so they can develop it as well. But you know, I'll say, like, give me the person's name that you're getting the oogity boogities about, and give me the person's name that you're kind of like lukewarm about, and let me see what I'm getting. And sometimes I get words. Sometimes I'll see like a movie play out in my mind. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll get a smell. Sometimes I'll get feelings. Sometimes I'll get it all.
Wow.
And sometimes too, I tell CEOs, sometimes you're going to mess up and you are going to hire what you think is the wrong person. But in the end, they might have needed that experience in your company to be able to learn a valuable lesson and move on. And you might have needed that lesson more about trusting your gut or whatever it was. Yeah. So I tell CEOs, you're never going to get it 1,000% right.
No. But so I have to ask you this question. When, when you're working with CEOs, business owners, do they kind of keep you in the closet?
Oh, yeah.
Not big.
Yeah. I am, yeah. And I completely understand it. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, one of the top, when I do talk to my CEOs, one of the top reasons that they tell me that they hire me is not only because I'm phenomenal at what I do, but because their competition doesn't have one and they know it.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I don't care what you qualify me on the invoice. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, it's your company. You can run it the way you want to run it. And I get it. I understand that, because their reputation and things like that could be on the line. And the last thing that I want is for somebody's business to be in jeopardy because of what I'm helping them succeed at.
How clearly can you see generally if somebody is asking you about the direction of their business? And I'm not saying they're asking you, am I going to be successful? But maybe they could take the road to the right or the road to the left in their business growth.
Right.
Are you talking to them about that as well?
Yeah, I do. I talk to them about, you know, crossroads, because that's what life is all about. It's just about one choice after the next, whether it's coffee and tea in the morning, or whether it's I'm going to partner with this guy on this project, or I'm going to invest over here. What I do is I say, you know, let's sit down, because I feel like you're scattered and you've got about 5 or 6 different big choices on where you want to go to with your business. Let's sit down and let me see what we need to address first. And it might not seem logical, but follow me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting pulled back to the mystical, mysterious here. Um, so I've never like been to a seance. I've never like tried to do the communicate with, deceased loved one. I got to talk to you about this. So, I mean, we can do that, huh? We can communicate with our loved one.
This is my belief, and that's so funny because you've been to New Orleans a few times. I'm surprised you haven't like popped into a shop or anything like that.
Well, there was opportunity. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did not take it, and I think I probably should have, just because I think it would have been fun, but I didn't.
yeah, next time.
Next
But
time.
this is what I believe about I don't necessarily believe that everybody can communicate maybe on the level that mediums can with deceased loved ones, but everybody can receive a message. I know that to the core of my soul. Everybody can ask and see a sign. They can see, hear, ask for grandma to come around, and a song or a commercial comes on that reminds you of her. Or, sometimes people get signs in nature, whether it's birds or insects or flowers. Some people get smells. Like oftentimes, you can smell somebody's cologne or cigar or whatever it is. I tell people you can always get signs from your loved ones. Don't think that you have to be, an afterlife connection specialist to hear from your grandmother.
So the spirits all around us.
Oh yeah. I like in my belief, yes, that's what I've known since like day one. I kind of said like I went from the spirit world and came to the living, but the spirit still followed me. So I never really left the spirit world.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I do say they're all around you when you need them.
Yeah, I try to keep myself very open to that possibility, and like I do notice little things, like sometimes out of the corner of my eye, I swear I'm seeing somebody. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I am. I don't know. It's possible.
Yep. And that's kind of how, that's how I tell people when your vision is kind of relaxed and you're just kind of gazing at something versus like dead on focusing at it, that's when you'll start to see things out of the periphery of your eye. And that's when you'll start to see maybe signs or something come into your mind. It's like I have windows on the side of my house and in my kitchen, and I always see somebody running by there messing with my flowers, and I only get them right in my periphery, but I'm like, I saw you, you know. And I just think that because this land was a lot of Native Americans had been here in the past.
Yeah. I have a feeling it would be really fun to do a girls' night with you.
And during COVID, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of Zoom group mediumship, oracle card readings. So it's all via Zoom. So I tell everybody wine and PJs and me.
Yeah. Yeah. And just delve into that whole arena that we're just, I mean, it's your world, but it's not ours. But I think
This is what I say, Michelle. It is your world as well. It's just that some people haven't been introduced to it.
Yeah.
They don't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I will believe you on that.
yeah, we can have an oracle party, Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a whole lot of fun. I absolutely
a lot of people we could invite. That would be really awesome for that.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the age of COVID, everything is pretty much either phone or video now.
Yeah, it is. So, okay, that is a good question to ask. Does it change your gift, your ability to do what you do via Zoom versus being in a room with somebody?
It doesn't change the ability. Now, do I prefer in person? Yeah, I miss my people. But it doesn't change the connection between me and spirit, whether you're on video or your phone or you're in person.
Okay.
It doesn't change at all.
Well, and that certainly opens up your world to being, global.
Yeah, and I was very lucky because even, even long pre-COVID, long before, I was using a lot of Zoom and video. So a lot of my people were already aware of working with it and I was familiar with it. So I got lucky.
So is there anything that you would suggest in terms of if somebody wanted to engage you in their business, in helping their business? Are there some things that maybe they should ask themselves to see if you would be a good fit?
Well, they can always get a hold of me at tracysaintcroix360.com. And what I like to do is I just have like a discovery call with them. I say, let's have a 30-minute, let's talk about maybe what are your expectations? What are you looking for? Where are you at? Is this going to be a good personality fit between me and you?
I would think
And
that's very important.
it is very important. It
Yeah.
is very, very important because when you're working with an intuitive, you have to learn how to take the information and then be able to apply it to your business. And then, especially if you have a C-suite, you have to figure out a way to communicate that to them without going, yeah, I talk to this intuitive on the phone all the time, So it can, I always like to say we can look before we leap on this one.
Right. And how often do you come across unrealistic expectations?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't come up, you can't hire me to clean your mess, is what I say.
You're not like Samantha and Bewitched and Twinkle Your Nose and the magic.
I wish I could. That would be awesome.
And that's what I wished I could do when I was a little kid. And I would watch that show and I was like, oh, I wish I could just wiggle my nose.
Oh, yes. I wish, snap my fingers and all that. I just tell them, there are quite a few that have unrealistic expectations. And that's why we have a discovery call to figure out if I'm going to be a good fit for you or not. Because sometimes I just tell them, you don't need an intuitive, you need a CFO. Like, you don't need me.
I'm not going to manufacture money for you. You need somebody to help.
Yeah, I'm not going to manage money for you, and I can't. You need a C-suite and a lawyer probably.
Yeah.
Not me.
I love that. I always love talking to you, Tracy.
Yeah, because just like any other team member, if you're not going to mesh and not going to work together, there's no point.
Yeah. But I really have to think. I'll be honest. The first time I met you, I was like, you not of what you get there. It was the idea of helping, being a consultant to business. I had never thought of that before, and I just never had heard of it either. So there has to be a lot of people that are like me and kind of going, oh, that's different.
They do, and a lot of business owners will go, you're not going to tell anybody I called you, are you? And I'm like, you're not going to tell anybody we talked, are you? No. Okay, good.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Well, we're going to have to wrap up here, but I think we got a lot in. I mean, fun stuff. And now I have a picture of the real Hogwarts.
Yes, I'll send you some photos, Michelle, because it is, once you go to Arthur Finley, like it just is, it calls you back. Like it's just like, come to me. And so I was hoping to get over this in the summer, but
yeah, we were all hoping to do different things this summer.
I don't even want to talk about it right now.
But we all know we're going to make the lemonade and we're going to make it all okay.
We are. We might have some big bag of lemonades, but we got sugar and we can make this work. And don't worry, everybody, this too shall pass, I promise.
Yes. And if you're really feeling bad, let's all get on a Zoom Oracle party.
That's right. We can do this. We can get on a Zoom Oracle party and we can get some answers and get some things sorted out for you. Yes.
Yeah, we got to pick a date. All right. I think I've committed to it.
We got to be like Angel Tussie. What's the date? Set a date.
Right, set a date. Don't just talk about it. Set a date.
She'd be a good wedding planner. Set a date.
We're going to do it. I love you. I adore you. You are so
Oh, well, thank you for having me on here, Michelle. I always love it on here.
Well, you'll be back. And also, I want to make mention that, again, you were in the June edition of Lemonade Legend magazine. So I will make sure I post the link to that. And because it's a good read. And you were a little revealing of your lemons and growing up and things like that. So I do encourage anyone interested, definitely read about Tracy in there. And yeah, and then I don't know, one of these days we've got to physically like come together.
Yes, we will intersect
somewhere.
I always like to say spirits got it. Don't worry about it.
It's going to happen when it's going to happen, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
so TracySt.Croix360.com. That's the easiest way anybody can reach out to you.
Yep.
Okay.
That is my catch-all everything about me. TracySt.Croix360.com, and you can contact me everywhere on social media. You can call me. You can check out my website. Yeah.
And you have a black cat.
Unexpected guest. Yes. So I know, an intuitive with a black cat. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Tracy, thank you so much. It was a ton of
fun.
And I just always appreciate your time. And, if you have a dream about me, just give me a call and let me know.
I will. I'll give you help. Hey, I told you about about what was going to happen with all your
legal stuff?
Yeah.
And we're not even going to tell people about that because that's coming up in the August edition.
Oh, so you've got to read the August edition to get the goods on that.
That's right. So that's coming out in a couple of weeks. So yes, and you were spot on right about that. Yep.
Yes.
You take very good care of yourself. Take good care of your fur babies.
I will. They are fighting over territory at the moment.
I'm sure they are. They're probably going, what is mom doing home all the time now? Yeah, they don't have any peas. All right. I just want to, again, thank you. So good to see you. Thank you all for listening in. If you want to know more, you can read about Tracy in the magazine. You can go to Amazon and get her book, 7 Tips and Tricks to Enhance Your Intuition, a practical guide to knowing, loving, and trusting your intuition.
Yes.
Go there, get the book, check out our website. You're a gem. All right.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.